You wake up, not sure if you've slept an hour or 4. The pain is still there, deep in the pit of your stomach. You feel sick. Mind clears a little, and then bam. It's not a dream. They're having an affair. Your heart pounds. I can't do this. How do I do this? And you realise, I have to face another day. Please don't let this be true. But it is. Have you been blindsided by breakup? One of the things we discovered through the analytics of our channel is that just before Christmas there was 1.2 million search terms for relationship advice. Between Christmas and New Year, there was 12 million. So we did kind of ride an unfortunate wave of people researching how to get some help. What came out of that episode were some amazing people sharing not just their own stories, and we used the Love Actually clip, shortened version, to highlight the pain of what infidelity and cheating might bring about. But we're going to cover today, blindsided by breakup. Have you just found out about the affair? And from what we understand, January, unfortunately, is a prime time. It's not exactly the season of goodwill.
No, and I want to thank everybody that gave us their comments and their thoughts and their feelings after we did that walk. It was really poignant and so heartfelt, some of the things that we were able to read. So thank you to all the people that sent things in, because we are now here sitting together talking about what we actually were witnessing then.
I think the blindsided by a breakup is going to impact hundreds, thousands, if not millions of people this time of the year. What I loved about the comments was the fact that people were honest.
Yeah.
They shared some really deep stories. Some people with some great advice.
Yeah.
Some an overview of what they experienced and what their recovery was like. And others maybe not so. So we're going to cover today survival, coping.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about how we might come to terms, the recovery, and then we're going to perhaps touch upon a little bit of an unorthodox vantage point of affairs, which we hope will be valuable, but we'll leave that to the end of the episode. You can imagine that there's a lot of people that are either on their own or still in a relationship after finding out that brutal, devastating news that their partner has been cheating or having an affair. How do we survive that realisation of an affair?
I've had 3 people in a week come in and say that they don't want to be in the relationship anymore. And it is blindsided because it's not what they were coming in for. I do a 15-minute call to give an overview of what's going to be talked about within a full session. And they've come to therapy to actually name it and say that they've been unhappy for a long time. And the other person who's listening to this doesn't have any idea that this is going to take place. So the blindsided part of this is really poignant. Even though there's I'm not happy, I don't like what's happening in the relationship, I'd like to change things, I'd like our sex to be different, whatever it might be along the way, they've not been heard. Because there are moments in a relationship that they will be saying, I'm not okay in this relationship, but it's not heard. We're building the empire, we're doing business together, we've got children together, and it's not really listened to until they come into therapy and they go, I'm actually going to leave. I don't want to be with you. And it's so hard to say, and it's so hard to hear.
I'm trying to think of a quote I heard saying it's something like, saying you love someone is easy, saying to someone you don't is hard.
It's really hard, yeah. And I honour the person who comes in to be honest and say, I can't do this anymore. And I also honour the person that then has to sit there and listen to that for the first time without realising that this was what was going to take place.
But this is the blindsided bit. So many individuals, an example, one scenario, a couple, someone has either been having an affair or unhappy for a very long time.
Yeah.
The other person, this is the first time they potentially know about it.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 extremes of a situation where 2 people have 2 fundamental different experiences.
Yeah.
And they need to be treated accordingly, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Someone's been brave.
Yeah.
Someone's done the cheating. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it's right, by the way, but the other person is in absolute potential shock.
Yeah. And when we talk about the grief cycle, they are in absolute disbelief when this is coming out. And the interesting thing is, every single story is different. So one person would say, I don't want to be in this relationship, but they would think about, or they were having an affair, but they're not going to continue the affair. The affair was the catalyst to make them realise that actually they could be in a happier place. I don't like the word happier, but in a peaceful place. Instead, they're just surviving in the relationship instead of thriving, and they want out.
I've got the question here about the survival aspect, and you said, but they want out. You've got one person that's surviving, perhaps while they're conducting the affair or being swept along with the affair. You've got someone else that's just been brutally delivered the news or just found out. The shock must be almost intimidating in as far as how do I survive? And I love that little bit that we did at the beginning, which took way too long, is trying to get across the impact of just finding out. And also that almost a kind of grief wheel, isn't it? The cycle of disbelief, anger, numbness, hatred.
Well, it's interesting you should say that about what we were trying to achieve at the beginning of this. For some reason, I went into a complete spin about trying to say a couple of words on the script that we were doing, but I've just realised it was avoidance. Of not talking about this subject, obviously, but actually saying the title that we were gonna put together. There is something about my avoidance of this, and I guess I've been in this situation.
When you were reading out the script, I was thinking, how vulnerable do we be in our shows? And I guess if we're emulating some transparency and honesty, and we know that this is painful for all, showing that level of transparency for ourselves on the episodes that we do, I think is crucial because we're human, right?
Yeah. I was really struggling to say the first part of this, and I started laughing, but the laughing was definitely an avoidance. Yeah, absolutely. This is really painful, and the blindsided part of it is you definitely didn't see it coming. There was this part of your life that it's not the trust that's gone, it's the story that you believe that your relationship is. Or the trust has gone, but that's not just the whole story. The relationship that you thought you had has just exploded.
There's another facet to that as well. There's also the aspect of, I thought I was a good judge of character, and now I can't trust myself with other people.
Really
who does that make me?
Yeah.
How do I trust me? So that I use the word, that cognitive dissonance of I thought I was this, but what's being presented means I feel or think this way. I'm wrong.
Yeah. And I think
that's a whole personality crisis, right?
Well, it is, but also it does play into I can't make a clear decision about whether I want to stay or go because actually I don't trust myself, let alone the relationship now. I'm in this sort of state of flux where I don't know what decisions to make. My partner wants to stay. Let's say that they decide that they do want to stay, which we will talk about repair later. Actually, how do we make decisions? And as a therapist, you say to them, don't make any big decisions at the moment. You've got to go through that process of the grief cycle with each other.
So what you're talking about, and interesting, the area that I wanted to cover next is kind of what are the coping strategies that we can adopt to, I guess, stay safe, take care, and potentially include the relationship. Do you know what I mean? It's how do I survive this? How do I cope? And if someone's listening, what are the initial best steps? You've been delivered this devastating news. How do I look after me?
Yeah, I like that because when my couples will say to each other, I've had an affair, I don't want to be with you, they do then go on to say, but I care about you. I care about you and I want to make sure you're okay. So if we get somebody that blindsides somebody and really doesn't care, then it does feel very much like that person who's been cheated on is on their own. I'm leaving, I'm going. They're not really worried about that other person. Whereas you get some people that will say, I still care about you as a friend, but not as a wife or partner now. And that's painful in itself to hear. However, there's something within therapy that you can start working on. How can we get this couple to talk to each other? Because there's so much to go through. There's not just you two as as a couple splitting up, but it's also about who that other person's going on to. Who is that as well? Children, finances, housing. We've got such a complex process that we have with each other. Everything's so mixed in together that there's so much untangling.
Well, you're enmeshed, aren't you? You've created an
course.
identity which is an us.
Yeah.
And to then find out that actually there was an I going on completely segregated to the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is a common way that people cope?
Yeah, there's lots of coping things that you can do. And I guess it depends on how we're talking about this. If somebody says, I'm leaving you, I'm having an affair.
Reactive,
absolutely. Yeah. So we've got anger, we've got displacement, we've got, I'm taking the children away from you, whatever that might be. So lots of threats. We've got the other part of that as well, that we go into panic where either or will go towards. So how can I get you to see me in a better light? Let me be more sexual. Let me be what you want
Love me again.
To be. You know, it's all false, because what we're looking for is safety very quickly, to be able to come back into that, like I call the nook, being able to be safe. And the other person has already said that I don't want to be with you, that they are in motion of having an affair. So I want everybody to slow down a little bit and not dive back in, because it's not real.
I think that's an interesting point. I'm thinking at this moment in time specifically about a couple that have just found out they are in salvation mode. I want it to work. I'm sorry, I've been caught out. But the over-sexualization side of it.
I think we're talking about two different sorts of blindsidedness here.
So meaning splitting up or finding out?
I think there's the finding out, and then there's the decision to say, I don't want to be with you anymore. But also there's a decision to repair. I think we're talking about, it feels like when we're talking to each other, we're going on two different lines.
Yeah.
So being blindsided means you had no idea that this was going on, but I want to tell you so that we can repair.
Repair, yeah.
Or I'm coming into the therapy room and you are going to be blindsided. I'm going to be truthful, but I don't want to be with you. So there's two sorts of being blindsided. The affair is the blindsided bit, I guess. The other bit might be, I don't want to be with you either. So I wonder which bit we need to hold on to, or whether we're going to actually go through this in two different streams.
My hunch is, based on the comments, is, it's a 50-50 divide.
Yeah.
In the comments, it's, we split up. I found out that, I never trust anyone again.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. And then there's the, we stayed together, but it was never the same. And I guess we have a third option, which is there is a growthful opportunity, either individually or together, which we'll come into, we'll talk about more later. There could be a part two to this. Which vein do you think we should go down?
I think we should start with, there's an affair going on, but the repair wants to be done.
Okay.
So there's remorse.
Perfect.
Let's start with that. And then I think part two would be, there's an affair going on. Not that affair might continue, but actually I've gone outside for the exit to be, I'm leaving you.
Part two.
Part two, yeah.
So today let's focus on the affair, but we want to repair.
Yeah, because I think with the stats that we were talking about in January, they seem to be so high with this happening. I think it would be useful for us to talk about how there is life after affair, how we can come together, how we can be intimate together. And we're not looking to actually go back to be the same. Otherwise, you'll end up where you are now. What we're doing is actually, this is going to be a very different relationship. What script do you want it to be? And this is a script for both of you. We are now going to find a space where you both have better communication. You would then share with each other when there's something going on that you're not happy, instead of it just being coated over every time somebody says, I'm not feeling okay in this relationship. And the other person, don't be silly, we've got everything. And that's what gets said. Don't be silly. You don't know how lucky we are. We've got two healthy children. We've got a relationship that's gone on for 14 years.
It's just dismissive, isn't it?
It's dismissive. Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of work to do individually and together.
I was thinking about the coping strategies that someone in the repair after the affair situation. And I guess that's where I was initially going back, being overcompensating, over-sexualized. But the trouble is those aspects of trying to stay together don't work.
Yeah.
It wears off very quickly. And then I was thinking about the visions and the nightmares that creep in. And then that just undermines any potential healthy growth for the couple.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's either no connection whatsoever and they've sort of disappeared from each other because of this disclosure, or there's such a over-sexualized process going on, dressing up, being attentive, lots of touching and feeling and all sorts of stuff. That doesn't last. This is like, I'm going to either re-own you or I'm going to show you that I can be as good as the other partner. And it's not real. It's just that frenetic, excited, let me be part of your world again.
And almost lustful.
It's very lustful, but also it can bring flashbacks as well. Is this different? Do I feel different from the other person? We're still trying to find out detail some of the time. So there is this sort of like flashbacks, nightmares, hot flushes in the, you wake up in this panic attack process. So yeah, it is interesting. One couple will go one way and don't touch me, don't talk to me. And I really admired this guy that come in once who said, I want to take this really slowly. So I don't want any homework to do. I just want to come here and be here. And the other person who'd had the affair, the female had the affair, she said, but I want to cuddle soon and I want to get next to you soon. And he said, you're going to have to slow down. And I really admired that, because what I want them to do is actually take back some power, because it's been taken, or they've allowed it to be taken from them. So I want them to really think about that. The over-sexualization, what is it that's proving? Why are we rushing into trying to be a relationship again when we haven't done any of the groundwork to find out why we got there in the first place?
Sorry to change track a little bit, but it reminded me, I think we've already talked about this before, but there's a biological development in the male anatomy, the meatus, the end of his penis, which is plug-shaped. So I know it's going way off track, but I think it's fascinating. It's designed to scoop out opposing semen from another man. And I wonder if there is kind of a biological side to it, where when the partner has gone off and had an infidelity, that over-sexualized element is a part of that potential natural.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Well, it is. It's cleansing genitals. I'm going to be that person that now you are going to have my smell, my pheromone, my DNA, everything. I want to re-own that part of us again. And checking out that actually there is that spark there still. There is that opportunity.
Am I still loved? Am I still wanted? Am I still needed?
Yeah.
Am I still desired?
Yeah, absolutely. The painful part is that you've chosen to do that with somebody else in a secret. And, birthdays, anniversaries, nights out. Were you texting all that time? Were you involved with them? Were you involved with me? Absolutely. And that's so painful to know. Were you texting that person on my birthday and our anniversary? And if the affair's been going on, absolutely they would have been. And that's so painful to know. How real has our relationship been? And how real do we want it to become?
And as some people said in the comments, irreparable.
Yeah, it is for some people. Yeah, there's a moral code that we all hold. And some people will say in the very beginning of a relationship, if there's any infidelity, I'm done. They would not put up with it. Other people will go, let's see if there can be some repair. And I've seen it in person, in my therapy room, when people commit to the therapy, the changes that they can make individually and together to have this relationship that they would have never disclosed. The intimate stuff from childhood right the way up to their relationships with other people, and got that real close intimacy now that they would have never had if the affair hadn't happened. And I'm not promoting affairs, but what I'm saying is with that, they've then been able to become even closer.
We'll come on to that in a little bit more detail. I can imagine some people in the comments now saying absolutely impossible. And we had that in the comment section of our last episode. So we'll come on to that in a bit more detail in a moment. How does someone that's just found out, and I mean just found out about the infidelity in the affair, how do they come to terms with that?
If they've just found out they're not even in any state of anger or repair or anything like that. They are in that grief cycle, which is disbelief. There's 7 cycles of grief. Don't ask me to name them all. I should know them really.
I'll quickly Google that now.
But the first one is disbelief. This cannot be happening to me, and this cannot be happening to us. I don't know who you are that you've done this to us, to me.
The level of betrayal is hard to come to terms with or even fully understand until you've experienced it.
Well, what has your story been for your relationship? What is that story?
A sham. It's been a lie.
Well, you can't work out which ones have been authentic and which ones haven't.
True.
Because you don't know actually how long the affair's gone on for. Some affairs are for the whole lifetime of your relationship. Others are intermittent or they're a certain amount of time. They can be absolutely devastating. And it is more somatic, body-wise, than it is brain, because your brain cannot cope with the amount of information that has been said in the beginning. Then your brain, your body and your brain catch up with you, and your brain wants to know more. At the beginning, it's survival. How am I going to cope? Are you going to leave me? All those sort of things. And then it goes into, I want to know more about this other person.
So they start becoming full detective mode.
They do, yeah.
And in full transparency, if you haven't seen the episode before, I remember being that detective.
Yeah.
I remember the opportunity to look through a phone once, and it was almost like going to a dreamlike state.
Yeah.
The disbelief is not the right word. I remember the level of my heart pounding. I could physically see my shirt jumping off of my chest. And it didn't stop for, I was going to say days, but it's weeks.
Yeah.
Weeks.
Months.
Yeah, months.
Yeah, it's months. Yeah. And yeah, I'm going to say years as well, because it comes back. There's different degrees of coming back, but it comes back. And interestingly enough, just a minute ago, I said, I've been betrayed and left. I wasn't left when I think about it. I think I left. I opted out of the relationship while staying in it. And even though you became a detective, I didn't. I became fearful of abandonment. So it was buried under the carpet, which meant there was more affairs, which I then buried under the carpet.
Effectively, your behaviour allowed it to happen?
I didn't put any boundaries in, for sure. But
Right.
I think I was more fearful of being abandoned than I was about trying to find out details, being the detective.
So really repressing yourself and your needs and wants over a fearful need.
Yeah, but I'm talking about being under 20 years old.
Yeah.
So, and whether that, I feel that is significant.
I do.
Yeah, so not knowing how to navigate that.
And isn't that not what we're trying to do here? We're trying to not give answers. We're trying to promote ideas and conversation and dialogue, to think differently and more broadly. Then we can take accountability and responsibility for our part we play in relationships, because it's about the investment in the relationship.
Yeah. And we were going to mention that guy, I think, weren't we? Not by name, but who said about the comments.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it really, and I want to thank the lady that rescued me.
Shall I explain it?
Yeah, could you? Yeah, I think it'd be quite useful.
In the last episode, I said, when we were talking about affairs and the Love Actually scene, did it strike a chord or did it hit a nerve?
Oh,
hit a nerve there was a driving force, there was a pain associated to it. Strike a chord is when you recognise something. So he turned off and didn't watch the rest of the episode. But a nice lady, very much positioned. Well, you can explain it perhaps.
She put there that she felt that I had done enough work on myself to actually be able to determine how I felt about the past and how I've looked at my childhood, looked at my relationships, and be able to come to a conclusion that actually neither of those fitted what I was feeling, but it was a memory that would have come back to me. while you were talking as you were. And I felt like that was really lovely of her to say, because it's true. From that past and from all the work that I've done and the work that I do, I think it's so important to keep just working on yourself.
That's what we're doing here.
It is, yeah.
No one's finger pointing. No one's being a victim on our episodes. We are taking responsibility, and we have an opportunity for growth given the chance.
Yeah, and to that guy, come back.
Watch it again.
Come back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Some of the comments were really good. Some of them were brutal. And I think there was a number of individuals that clearly haven't got over the devastation of what they experienced. And I get that. Yeah. But we want to put a bit of a positive spin on this, right? There is a road to recovery. Yeah. It can happen. Not for all, we understand that, because I guess we also need to talk about the nuances, because if we generalise, it's going to be really difficult. Well, someone was beating you, someone was abusing you, so it was a bad relationship from day one. There is no relationship, but it's got some other connotation to it. Yeah. No, you shouldn't be in that relationship, or fear of abandonment. Why are you staying in that relationship? Yeah. So it's multifaceted. There's lots of different aspects to it. One of the things about the recovery, and in the comments, I noticed there was quite a few people that I would call stuck, never going to have a relationship again. Yeah. No one will ever do that to me again. Yeah. What's the definition? What's the purpose of being stuck in, I will never have a relationship again? And actually, the more I say it, the more I say it, the more I'm thinking that is episode 2.
It is, but I will answer it, because I think that most relationships will hold an element of what happened in the last relationship, which then can really mar the relationship you are now in. What you need to do is hold boundaries for yourself within a new relationship.
So we might be repeating old relationship styles.
Absolutely. Yeah. And don't forget, we are talking about family of origin here. You might have grown up with parents who had affairs, or lots of affairs, or there was an affair found out when one of the parents died. You're coming from a very, very upsetting background. So if your partner then has an affair, which you have definitely said, if this ever happens in my relationship, it's not something that I would put up with, they've already got that boundary. So they're not going to divert from it. They're going to go, we're done. And the other person's going, please give me a chance. Their background is saying, don't give them a chance. They've seen the hurt. They've seen the upset. They've seen the explosion of the relationship, the whole family falling apart.
It's also a big thing to say, I go for a type of person, and actually that's my responsibility. These people keep hurting me. I say people because we've got to think of men and women. Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
But when you think of conversations you might have with a good friend or family member, they say, why does this always happen to me?
Well, take my example. I would say after my marriage, I probably had a couple of relationships that were very similar to that relationship, because I was looking to be rescued and not be abandoned. So that would have been the same type of relationship. We've got to actually...
Almost like looking for comfort.
It's more than comfort. People always say the word comfort, but it's more than comfort. It's security.
There you go.
It's survival. It's, hoping that this will be the person that will pick whatever I need up. And I don't mean in a spoilt way, but those abandonment issues, those loneliness as a child, it's finding that person that will fit that brief. But then that becomes codependent. I want them to be how I need them to be for me to be okay. And that's not a relationship that can flourish. It's a relationship that can suffocate.
I'm smiling inside. I'm thinking, do you know what? Therapy's so good. Everyone should just go and learn about themselves.
Yeah. Do 6 weeks intensives for yourselves as an eye.
Learn so much about yourself that you can then invest in another.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God, well, emotional then. Seriously, just think, you can hear it as we talk more, as our episodes evolve, realising that what quantifies a healthy relationship is utter transparency, honesty, and knowing yourself. Yeah. You've got half a chance of getting to know somebody else then. Yeah. And intertwined with that is your values and recognising heart-shaped red flags from red flags.
Yeah, yeah. And authenticity. Come into your own as an authentic person and be able to sit in that place of being able to say, this is me and this is what I've done. Because the thing with an affair is it always feels like, have I been told everything? And it's, why is it the person? What we're looking for is transparency. People always think it's weird when I say this. Honesty is about somebody going, when did you do that? What date was it? Were we together? That is pulling teeth. But I want somebody to be transparent and go, on that date, I was with you. I didn't do my phone. I did text the other person. Transparency is when the other person hasn't got to keep asking these questions again and again and again.
Or ask different questions.
Well, they don't know. Some people don't know how to do the Socratic questions. They're just doing yes and no stuff all the time, which gets them absolutely nowhere.
Because I was thinking, when you're with the other person on that day, what did it mean to you?
Yeah, yeah.
Are better questions. It's understanding the why as opposed to the blame.
Yeah, yeah. And then when we talk about repair, how can we start repairing? Because when we first are, we're talking about being blindsided, there is no repair to start with. We've got to come into that place of, I've just heard this, it's new news, I've got to process it. And you're not processing it in a way of, I'm doing this or this. You're processing it as in, shall I do this or this?
Do I go now? That's a song, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a song. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not going to sing it.
No, good.
No, for everyone's sake, I'm not going to sing that.
But you are not going to get clarity straight away. And the person who's cheated will want clarity. Are we going to make it? Are we going to stay together? And you can't give that. And what gives the clarity is honesty or transparency. Come to the table with what happened. Be honest.
I guess the good thing about going to therapy is you do have an opportunity to be honest and that say what really happened, but you do have a referee. Sorry, I use that word. It's not literal there, but if you've not been very good at telling the truth because it comes from a fearful place, either your own or your partner doesn't allow the sanctity of open conversation, this is an opportunity to then go,
change it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So on the walk, we talked about the unconventional potential discussion, which you brushed upon, touched upon a moment ago, which is the potential rebuild.
Yeah.
And we both believe this, and I want to sort of talk about that, is that this could be a springboard into, and I think it can only be, a brand new relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't agree more. And for me, my boxes, how I work is when we've done some of the discovery and the opportunity to level out that nervous system, we then can start having a really good communication about what's next for this relationship. Because the opportunity for better discussion, more intimacy, more sex, more closeness, you have it at your fingertips if you both choose to commit to therapy. Come and do the work. Come and look at yourself. Come and look at the relationship. And it's called restoring. Let's write a new story for this relationship.
Restoring.
Yeah, it's my favourite word, restoring.
Is there a... Sorry, I don't want to take you off track. I love that. Oh, I want to write it down. Restoring.
Yeah,
I need to do some research.
Yeah, it comes from a trauma book.
Okay.
How do we see ourselves as we are? And then how can we then invest in applying that restoring part, that we know that the relationship there were some good times in that relationship. And I say to people, we're not getting rid of it. There's memories in there. Having a first child, having a second child, there's, your wedding day. Not all of it has been a sham. So I say, take the memories that were good, bring them into the new relationship, and then build on that. Build on what we can now do that's different.
The word that came up for me then is bring in courage.
Yeah,
courage and trust to do it.
Yeah.
And commitment.
Yeah.
Do commitment and courage go together? I think they do, don't they?
Well, that's my first box of if you look on my website, the first box is, are you going to come to therapy and commit to the work, commit to the relationship, and to commit to the homework? My second box is 1 foot in and 1 foot out, still deciding whether you want to do that or not. Am I in this relationship? Do I want... Because there's lots of things to discuss. It's okay to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Doesn't mean you're going to leave. It means I'm not sure, and that's okay. The other box is we're going to dissolve the relationship, which to me is all about conscious uncoupling, being able to grieve, come away from each other, have a gap, and come back as friends and look after your children together, if there are children.
There is a romantic element to that, and I can't put my finger on it. Might have to talk about this another time, but I think it's probably the mutual respect that your statement then invokes.
I love conscious uncoupling. I think it's amazing. And
should we do an episode on it?
Yeah, we could do, actually. Yeah.
It's not a term that I think many people, I know it only because of the qualification, but
yeah, my other boxes stay the same and don't come and work with me, which is quite brutal, really. But if you don't realise that therapy is about change, then you're not really coming for the right reasons. It's about growth, potential, connection. So I was just thinking about a client the other day, going off piste a little bit here, but like, we've got one level that we talk on, a superficial level, to keep safe, just tell the therapist a certain amount of stuff and she won't come too near me. That's great. Then we've got this river that's going either flowing well or really tumultuous and underneath, and that's all where all the stuff is. And then there's that other bit that we can really touch base with the client, and I call it intimacy. Okay, intimacy without touching. And there's an opportunity, and I did this week to a lovely guy who I had the opportunity to see his vulnerability and had the opportunity for him to cry and for him to see that actually the things that it's done. And let me just say, this wasn't about infidelity. It was about shame and guilt about something else. But to see him actually touch base with himself just for a minute, and it was a minute because he completely went like, get away from me again.
Recomposed.
Yeah. But when I brought the couple back together, there was an opportunity. I said, can I share what I experienced with you? And she said, that's who I want back. The vulnerable, the open, the honest, the opportunity for us to realign ourselves with each other. And it was just a beautiful, magic moment. And that's the same as, that's a different scenario. But when we're in an affair situation, having that vulnerability, not holding that stance of no remorse or, it happened, let's move on. Because I hear that a lot. We've been talking about it for 6 months. Can we please move on? You can't. It's so painful. You can't move on. 6 months is not long. Trust comes back after a year. Repair is over years. And I'm not, my analogy, nobody likes my analogy, but you don't want to stay in prison forever. You need parole.
Yeah.
All my analogies are weird.
I like that one.
So we've got to give the person who's cheated some parole every now and then to be able to align with each other to see if there's that possibility to come back together. If it's always suffocation in prison,
control.
Different bedrooms, control,
yeah.
It won't come back together.
You and I are aware that you can repair after the affair.
Definitely.
And what we're trying to encourage is an open mindset that it's not the end of the world in one respect, but it is a rebirth of a new relationship that, in your experience more than my own, you're seeing a relationship flourish, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you describe some of the positive experiences that you've had with clients after the affair and the growth that they found?
I watch the connection in the room together, from disaster to realignment, looking eye contact. When one gets upset, the other immediately holds their hand. None of that was happening before. It's just such a, I'm privileged to be able to watch that and them come back together. The intimacy changes. It's more passionate. It's more considered. It's more consensual, as in the fact of, do you want to do that? It's more considered. It's more, there's a depth of feeling to it now, which there wasn't before. It was routine. It was automatic. It was more physical than emotional. All of that's changed. There's a different level from this relationship. And the communication. Honesty. Living an honest life. Be able to be transparent with your partner. And that's the okay stuff and the not okay stuff. We don't want power and control in a relationship. We want it to be a place where you go to be, not a place where you go to get something. You
need to be strong enough to say the things that are difficult. You need to be robust enough to have the dialogue with the person that's saying it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt.
This was our kind of save it till last part of our episode. I think probably one of our favourite people, Esther Perel. She's talked about frequently, but she is fundamentally brilliant.
But I want to say, I feel like there's a mirror sometimes, because Esther never gives you an answer. but she gives you lots of things to think about. And that's what I want us to be doing for our audience. There's so many ways to think about different things. We get stuck, or we're one-liners. It's like, this is how I think. I want people to grow. The evolution of us is so, so important. Why am I thinking like I'm thinking? Is it because of my family of origin? That's how they thought. So I just carry on those usual repertoire of thought processes. What do you really think?
What is my love language? How does that influence
Absolutely.
the relationship?
Yeah.
And that does mirror exactly what we had in the comment section. I will never be with someone else ever again.
Yeah.
For me, that I find that devastating, to not want to trust in the process of love again.
Yeah.
But actually, there's an origin of that. There is a reason why we think this way. Yes, it was painful, but there's so much more going on underneath.
Well, we can look after ourselves, can't we? But also, I think we said this morning, isn't it, that somebody said something about love is painful. We go there because we want to receive all the things that incur love, but actually there's a suffering to it. I can't remember.
It was actually different. Well, no, it was that. It was Jimmy Carr, the comedian. He said grief is the price that we pay for love, and it would be sad if it wasn't sad.
Yeah, yeah. There's something about that, isn't there? Yeah.
A philosopher and a comedian, that man. Absolutely love him to bits. But it does make me think about the grief and the loss of a relationship, but unlike a finite parting of someone leaving Earth, there is an opportunity for rebirth, isn't there?
There is.
And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I guess words don't describe that. The rebirth in front of a therapist, watching them come together. And it's what I love about it.
Sounds like a privilege.
Oh, God, it's just a pleasure, privilege and honour, because suddenly they let go of you. They say,
oh, well, you're not in the room anymore.
Well, you are, but they say, and they're not really ending therapy. We do booster sessions and things to keep them on track. But it's like they say, oh yeah, we did that homework and it was about sex. We're not going to share that bit with you, but we're going to just share the emotion to. And
it's private.
Like, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I'm like, and that's absolutely fine. What were the emotions? We always talk about something, but they go, we're not going to go into detail like we did, because when the affair happened, when they started to have sex again or intimacy, they were lost. Is this going to be good enough? Will I have flashbacks? They're lost. So they're asking me lots and lots of questions. You know, should I do this or should I carry on if this happens, and all this sort of stuff. When they then go to me, we don't need to share.
Don't
that
need
with
answers.
You. Oh, I love that. It's just like the growth. I love that they're growing together and they're letting go of me. And that's the point.
So in the description section of this episode, you'll see a link to Esther Perel's one of the TED Talks. I think it's got something like 16 million views. It does cover the...
Yeah, Rethinking Infidelity, it's called.
There you go.
Yeah.
If this episode resonated, do please like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to us. It allows us to continue to record these episodes and give as much back as we can. But we'll see you very soon on the next episode, and we'll do a little bit more deep dive into the recovery after becoming single.
Yeah. And I also want to just say that when you're watching the video, watch it as a individual in a relationship and take notes, then watch it together as a couple and really think about, what am I hearing? What am I relating to? What am I connecting to? What I don't like about it and what I do like about it. What are you learning? This is not about shaming anybody or one-upmanship. It's about, what am I learning from this video?
Thank you, Lottie.
Thank you, Elliot.
See you on the next one.
You will.
We've got to do an outtakes.
And stuck in this infinite. I can't say it. Infinite.
Circular loop.
Infinite loop. Stuck in this infinite loop. No, I can't say it.
Infinite
loop. Right, one more take and I'm done. And stuck in this infinite loop.
Just say the word infinite.
Infinite. Am I saying it right?
Yeah. You put an extra T in there, I think, a few times. It's hard to tell if it was a stutter or a pronunciation issue.
Infinite loop. Infinite.
Yeah.
And stuck in this infinite loop. Please don't let this be true. It is.
Don't worry, I'm thinking that. Should I give it a go?
Yeah, go. It's cold outside.
Did I sing for an hour or 4? I don't know. I was too pissed.
Come on. This is a serious subject. It's cold outside.
Fuck. I've got a whole season of outtakes. Just one last time. Infinite.
Infinite.
Not
loop.
nt. There's no N in it.
Infinite.
Oh, well, there is.
Infinite.
There's two, actually. It's not three, though.
Infinite. Infinite. It's cold outside. Okay, let's do this.
Centered. I'm only doing what Fee does because I thought it might help, but it's clearly not.
No.
Sorry, Fee.
You wake up not sure if you've slept for 4 and stuck in this impotent.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
In this impotent. Oh, God.
I've never known you like this before. I'm as surprised as you are shocked at yourself.
This is ridiculous. Infinite.
Infinite. Do you know what? I am stuck in an infinite loop at the moment. I agree. Let's do this later.
How can we do this?
So is a rote. It's my turn. Fuckity fuckity fuck. Our production crew is shit, isn't it?